Ladies and gentlemen, this is really interesting. Trump will invoke executive privilege to block Bolton testimony. Bloomberg. Trump will invoke executive privilege to block Bolton testimony. Bolton said Monday he'd testify in Senate if he gets a subpoena. Why haven't they demanded Bolton testify? They didn't in the House. So they did not in the House of Representatives. They still haven't in the Senate, although they claim that they want Bolton to testify. Why haven't they formally requested? Why haven't Democrats formally requested that Bolton testify? Senate impeachment trial against Trump set to begin next week. President Donald Trump said the White House plans to invoke executive privilege to prevent former National Security Advisor John Bolton from testifying in the Senate impeachment trial expected to begin next week. Quote, I think you have to for the sake of the office, Trump said in an interview Friday with Fox News' Laura Ingraham. Quote, you can't be in the White House as president. I'm talking about many future presidents, and have a security advisor, anybody having to do with security and legal and other things, testify, Trump said. The comments contradicted remarks from Trump on Thursday. The president said he didn't plan to block Bolton from testifying. So it's going to go to the Supreme Court very likely. This is really interesting because they don't have an actual crime. They don't have direct evidence that Trump did anything. There's no direct evidence. The 538 article and the Associated Press article acknowledging that there's no direct evidence are below in the description section. There's no direct evidence that Trump did anything. If Bolton testified, he's not going to give any information pertaining to direct evidence. If he had that knowledge, he would have already been in the House during that. He would have already testified during the House impeachment. Okay, Democrats, if they had something, whether it was the Mueller probe where they had nothing and they fabricated everything, and they found that, Trump never worked with Russia to hack the DNC. It's the most absurd narrative. But if they had something with the Ukraine, if they actually had something where there was a document or an order from Trump or some kind of direct evidence where he was really afraid of Biden, the No Malarkey bus tour. By the way, if you check my last segment, I'm actually the only person on planet Earth wearing a No Malarkey shirt. So you can actually see that on H.A. Goodman's other channel and on this channel. But I'll read you this. There are two articles that are important that I have. Quote, Democrats' case against Trump, on the other hand, doesn't have that one key piece of evidence directly linking Trump to a quid pro quo. 538, December 2nd, 2019. Quote, this is the article titled, Do Democrats Have Enough Evidence to Impeach Trump? Do Democrats have enough smoking gun evidence for impeachment? And then, quote, Democrats' case against Trump, on the other hand, doesn't have that one key piece of evidence directly linking Trump to a quid pro quo. They don't have that. 538. And then the Associated Press. Quote, yet the witness accounts left one prominent hole that offered the impeachment witnesses in the House. Yet the witness accounts left one prominent hole that offered a lifeline for Trump and his GOP allies. None of the witnesses could personally attest that Trump directly conditioned the release of the $400 million in military aid on the Ukraine announcement of investigations into former Vice President Biden and the Democratic National Committee. So there was nothing there. There was never anything there. They don't have anything. They don't have anything. There's no direct evidence of anything if they want everyone around Trump. Now, this is an interesting segue to my last segment. The fact that John Huber has done nothing shows that first of all, message boards should never be trusted, ever. You should never trust a message board because you don't know who's on the other side. It's just basic knowledge of the internet. But then I have like a whole bunch of, I have some commenters stating, well, we should trust the Washington Post. Yeah, if it's a choice between a message board and the Washington Post, trust the Washington Post. Even though today they come up with anonymous officials. Okay, so you don't have to. There's no reason to believe the Washington Post regarding today's story, because they always just back up their stories with officials familiar with the matter saying. So there's no reason to believe their sources. But there's also no reason to believe a message board. See, simply saying that the Washington Post shouldn't be believed doesn't mean you should believe a nonsensical hoax. Understand? It's called logic. So if you walk by somebody on the street and they're yelling at the top of their lungs at like an imaginary being, and like rah, 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 and you say well, the Washington Post said that something. Oh, I should trust the Washington Post? I'm trusting that person who's yelling at the top of his lungs to nobody. That person who perhaps lost his mind on the street. I'm going to trust that person because the Washington Post is not trustworthy. See, the two don't correlate. Okay? So anyway, and secondly, secondly, when I was quoting the Washington Post, it was about the pay-to-play schemes that Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation were engaged in regarding an Associated Press article that actually happened. So sometimes, yes, people, the Washington Post actually does do reporting that's actually legitimate because they're quoting an Associated Press article. The Associated Press article stated that 85 donors gave $156 million into the Clinton Foundation, 20 of whom gave $1 million, and then they all met with Clinton. That is a fact. That is a fact that the Washington Post reported, and a fact within the Washington Post. So yes, trust the Washington Post on that story, okay? Because I don't understand this. They're the whole thing is complete nonsense. Nothing that message board stated ever turned true. Nothing. Nobody's afraid of the storm. There's no plan. There's no nothing. It's all a hoax from people on the internet that have duped very, very good human beings. Similar to the intelligence community hoax and farce and whatever, fabricated narrative regarding Trump working with Russia, or regarding Russia hacking the DNC because they feared Clinton. That is only a high confidence assessment that they're not certain about. The ODNI report states that there's only high confidence. But anyway, not certainty. But anyway, I just found it. I don't know, and I don't know exactly. It was like I quoted a Washington Post article regarding the Clinton pay-to-play schemes that is actual public record, which is why Huber should have looked into that. The fact that he didn't even investigate, proves that Sessions was horrendous. So anyone who told you to trust Sessions was either the most gullible or most conniving person on the planet, or it was simply an internet hoax, which it is, that perpetrated by a whole bunch of complete and utter morons hiding behind a message board, trying to deceive people. That's what I've been trying to tell you since the whole thing started. Don't believe message boards, okay? My God almighty. Don't want to get into it. Anyway, so the point is, where was I? So Trump wants to invoke executive privilege. The interesting thing is, he's just making it difficult for Democrats. He's not worried about Bolton, but you can't simply, if you're the president, you can't simply allow them to gain access to your entire cabinet. Look, the public record knowledge, I'll get back to, the public record knowledge shows that there was money flowing into the Clinton Foundation, beneficial treatment taking place. The correlation there is not causation to the left, to Democrats. That's actually within the Washington Post article that I explained, that had nothing to do with trusting anything. Okay, it was actual fact. 85 donors gave $156 million. That is a fact. It's set in stone. Okay, a fact. Okay, not like, the warped, like, patriots, distant patriots. Not that nonsense. 85 donors giving $156 million. Fact. Those 85 donors met with Clinton. Fact. Causation, correlation, the correlation between the two should be suspicious. What they say is, well, there's no causation to it. She didn't accept the money to meet with those people. She just took the money through the Clinton Foundation because they were altruistic. Okay, so each entity, corporation, wealthy individual that gives to the Clinton Foundation, whether it's Uranium One or UBS or Boeing or the 85 donors or countries wanting weapons deals or countries donating to Haiti where the people of Haiti never got their money. The issue here is that money flowed into the Clinton Foundation, beneficial treatment took place to the people giving the money, yet Democrats say there's no reason to be suspicious. Here with Trump, he withheld military assistance. And then they say, well, he also asked to investigate Biden, and that was before the election. So then they're making the correlation. They're connecting the dots and saying, well, here's the correlation. He's worried about Biden. He's trying to interfere in the 2020 election, and he withheld military assistance because of Biden. That's not the case. They don't connect the same dots with the Clinton pay-to-play schemes. So money flowed into the Clinton Foundation, and President Obama does not veto the sale. And then you have William D. Campbell, an FBI informant, who said, yeah, he witnessed people bragging, Russian lobbyists bragging about their influence over the Clinton Foundation and President Obama's administration to greenlight the sale. But Democrats don't say, let's get that witness to testify, and let's have a special counsel based on that testimony, like they did with impeachment. It's the same with impeachment. They don't have direct evidence. We don't have direct evidence that Clinton took the money because gave favors because she wanted the money. But the money went into the Clinton Foundation and favors were given. There's no direct evidence because she deleted 30,000 emails and she used private servers that were hidden from the United States government. So that's the point here. The point is they are trying to criminalize a correlation that they've made without direct evidence, and they're demanding that everyone around Trump testify, including his national security advisor, okay, whom he should never have picked anyway. Bolton, nobody cares what Bolton thinks about foreign policy. Certainly not Trump. He did that because he's a yes man. That's why he got Bolton. But Trump wants to bring home Americans. Bolton wants to keep them there forever, like Clinton. So, the issue here is he's going to invoke executive privilege. Democrats are going to have to go to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is going to ask, well, where's the direct evidence that anything happened? Where's the crime? Democrats are going to say, well, the crime is that 4 scholars and 6 diplomats think something happened. Game over. There is no crime. There is no crime. There is no high crimes and misdemeanors. This isn't a congressional issue. It's a political retribution for Trump winning. Like I said, Clinton is going to be nominee. It ain't going to be Biden. She's still keeping the door open, people. I'm the only person on the planet stating what's going to take place. Clinton is going to be nominee. Just like I said in 2015 that Clinton would lose. And they have me and Nate Silver in the NPR article that's below in the pinned comment and description. Nate Silver, 538, said Trump won't be GOP nominee. I said Clinton won't win swing states. She's unelectable. I was right. So, Bolton has no information, because if he had any information, and they haven't even subpoenaed him. So that should tell you what this is a game. Democrats are saying, well, there's that one person left. There's that one person who has information. There's one person who has information. No, that person doesn't have information. So, give me your thoughts below. Bolton does not have any information that any of the other people have. that any of the other people are keeping. All right? Give me your thoughts. Thank you so very much. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel right this second. It'll almost certainly go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will side with Trump because they'll ask, where's the crime here? It's a phone conversation where even President Zelensky stated there was no quid pro quo. So he's in on it also? Give me your thoughts.